Hey everyone, my name is Shannon, but you may know me better as Backfired Blues if you follow any of my work on social media at all. And this is an introduction video for my Patreon page. Now most people online will know me as a visual artist or an illustrator, but in truth my first and foremost passion has always been for writing. It's been a very long time since I've shared any of my written work, but I finally found myself in a place where I'm able to complete this novel that I've been working on for the best part of the last decade, and to finally do it justice. So, just before I launch into what I'm going to be updating for my supporters on Patreon, I want to give you a quick rundown of what the book's about. There'll also be a trailer coming shortly once I've collected together a little more finished artwork that relates to the story, so I won't go terribly in depth right now. Basically, the book is called Faeth, and it is the first instalment of what's planned to be a trilogy. It would probably be classed as teen to young adult fiction, but it does greatly vary as you follow the journey of each individual character and the challenges that they encounter. It's a fantasy slash sci-fi story set in a dystopian future Earth, and essentially the human race has succeeded in ravaging the planet to a point of no return. Now, you may have heard that every myth was born from a breath of truth, and this is a theme that the book relies on. You see, in Faith, the world's been pushed to such a point that every fairy tale creature or legend that we always swore didn't actually exist has been driven out of their hiding places. And they're now in rebellion against the plague that has destroyed their planet, which, of course, is us. These fantasy beings are striving to take the planet back before it gets to the point where it's truly too late for anyone or anything. In this setting, we'll follow the lives of a handful of seemingly unconnected individuals and the inevitable trials that they'll face in a world like this. If it wasn't enough that the world itself was already in ruins, the few remaining human governments haven't seen fit to stop their nonsense either. So we'll follow rebels and soldiers alike, children of peace and those who bring nothing but conflict, instinctual enemies becoming the dearest of friends, and the dearest of friends becoming sworn enemies. I'll catch myself there before I get too into that side of things. The mythology that I'll be using as this book is written will also be quite vast, and it'll contain references to Celtic, Nordic, Greek, Indian, Chinese, and Native American legends, just to name a few off the top of my head. So you can expect a decent mix in that respect. The story also explores human psychology, spirituality, morality, but to name a few themes, and also contains a few warnings as to what could happen if we don't start changing how we treat the world and one another right now. So if I say much more again, it will be verging into the stories of the different characters themselves, and will probably get a bit confusing if you haven't read at least some of the book first. So I'll stop myself here until that trailer is up and running, which will kind of get a little bit more into the personal side of things. So Patreon, yeah. Each month I'll be updating a chapter of the book for all patrons. On top of that, there are also a few tiered rewards that will include sketched illustration to accompany each chapter, a clean line art copy, fully coloured copy, character reference sheets, digital paintings, physical merchandise, so on and so forth. For specifics on how to qualify for each tier and what they include, you can check out my Patreon page, which should hopefully be on the screen somewhere just now. And eventually, once the work has been published, I'm also looking at releasing a limited run of art books to go along with the novel, or rather fully illustrated prints of the complete first book, which would be an incredibly exciting point to reach. On top of all that, there'll also be progress sketches and different bits and pieces of artwork that I'll be posting for all patrons. There'll be a few free updates as well. However, the core development for the book Faith will solely be available to patrons. Anyway, I feel like I've rambled on quite enough for today. The first chapter is free to download, so I'll include the link below. If you enjoy what you're reading, I very much hope that you decide to join me on the road to complete Faith and see exactly where the project ends up. Thank you for taking the time to watch, and hope you have a good day.